I'll wait till I see it go live. Okay, so it's starting.
Warning. The following broadcast features thoughts, ideas, and opinions you might find offensive. If you're easily angered, insulted, hurt, provoked, outraged, or annoyed, the following may offend you. The views expressed in this show are solely those of the individuals providing them and do not reflect the opinions of YouTube or Google. So please, don't flag this video. Viewer discretion is advised.
We up?
Yeah, we are. I think we are up. There's
oh my
a little
God.
bit of a delay, so they're just seeing the intro.
Yeah, I was watching it too.
Okay, so first off, really sorry to everybody for the technical difficulties. That was on me.
It happens every time, though. Don't worry. Thank you first off for hosting this, Vicky. As some of you guys know, I don't have my laptop at the moment, so round of applause for trying to figure out how to stream something and play an intro, because I don't even know how to do that, so thank you. Also want to thank Count Dracula for doing the intro voice that you guys heard.
He sounded so good.
Yeah, if there is an echo, I see that the Horror Mister is saying echo. I don't know if there is one. No one else is saying anything, but let us know. Otherwise, thank you guys all for being here. How exciting. I'm so excited. Are you there, Maven?
Yeah, sorry. I was making sure if the echo was me or not. I have headphones.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm sure it's fine. If anyone else says... Okay, no, everyone says they don't hear an echo. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I probably freaked you out without any reason.
No, you're good.
Okay.
All
let's start at the beginning, hey? Do you want to... I'll give it to you to... Do you want to intro Cannibal Holocaust, I guess?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask, if we wanted to do that one first. All right.
I think time-wise it works.
Yeah, it does. You're right. Okay, so we're going to talk about Cannibal Holocaust first. I'm sure most of you guys know what it is about, but if for some reason you're too scared to watch it, which I totally understand, it's basically about a film documentary crew that goes to the Amazon, and they're going to film a documentary about native cannibal tribes, and they go missing. So a rescue crew goes to get them, and they find that the crew has been killed, and they find the footage, and that's basically what the movie is. It's your first found footage horror film ever made.
Yeah, arguably. Yeah. Which is crazy. One thing as well, we probably should have prefaced as well. Obviously, the disclaimer in the down bar, I know Vicky's written a whole thing about, we're not here to this is meant to be a discussion, a debate, if you will, I don't know. And obviously it's going to get a little bit heated, but everything is in good fun. I know it's hard to say try not to take it seriously, but if you are offended by obviously animal torture and rape scenes, which we all are, let's be fucking clear with that. This is an open forum to kind of talk about that. So take that with a grain of salt. We're trying not to glamorize this. We're just talking about it in the form of horror. I don't know. Is that a good disclaimer?
Yes, it is. We're just here to discuss. We're not, be respectful in the comments, y'all.
Yeah. Or we'll block you.
Right, yes. That'll... Okay,
so Vicky,
sorry,
as a vegan, which I didn't know you were a vegan, as well, I'm pescatarian. I don't know if anyone knows that in the chat, which means I don't eat land animals. I just eat fish. But I'm not full vegan like Vicky is. So newfound respect for you. I didn't know that.
Thanks.
How did you feel? Because I've watched Cannibal Holocaust since, I think I watched it the first time when I was 18, so that was 10 years ago. Okay. Believe it or not, guys. So, Vicky, how did you feel the first time you watched it? Because I know you were really scared of putting it off.
Yes, I was. Basically, I should preface this with, I wanted to get this one over with first. So when we were like, which one should we watch first? I was like, can we do Cannibal Holocaust? Because I'm really scared to watch it, and I just wanted to like Band-Aid, just rip it off like real fast. Let's do this. Obviously, the only reason that I had not to watch Cannibal Holocaust ever was the actual animal deaths, which I think on screen there's 6 and there was 7 total.
Oh, really? I didn't know there was a 7th.
The monkey kill scene.
Oh.
They had to do it twice. Yeah.
Oh.
Something went wrong with the first time they shot it, so they were allowed another monkey to kill for that scene.
I wonder if they had a backup. Like, that's insane. You know what I mean? Like, waiting.
I hope not, but God, that just like...
Probably. Sorry.
No.
Like, thinking logistically.
They did have, at least for some animals, they had like an allotted number that they could kill. Like, so for the pig scene, when they shot that, it was originally supposed to be, I didn't write down the actor's name, the main guy of the documentary crew. I think his last name is York, with an E.
I don't know, he's an asshole, we don't care.
Yeah. Apparently, he was supposed to kill the pig, didn't want to do that. So they had somebody else do it, and he was supposed to have like this monologue or something for the documentary afterwards, and he was so distraught that he couldn't.
Yeah, I heard that one of them cried after the turtle scene. Is that the same guy?
I think it was a different one or the other.
Sorry.
No, you're good. No, but you're correct though. Yeah, like that goes in part to the controversy surrounding that. People did not want to do that. But he botched his monologue and things like that, and they couldn't use it. But they couldn't redo the scene because they only had like one allotted pig to kill. Basically, that's just me ranting about. I didn't want to watch it because the animal torture. And I did cry multiple times when I was watching the movie. it just made it so much different knowing that.
Oh,
you know,
makes me sad. Yeah.
I don't know how I would have felt if I hadn't known that. I feel like I would have. At least I like to think that I would have had like an inkling that it was real.
It's so obviously it is like you see it and it looks like how could they fake that?
Yeah.
Especially with what is the first animal to kill? I don't know what the actual animal it is. It's like some marsupial looking mouse. That was terrible. Like for me, that was probably the worst one because it was just screaming until it died. It is the most fucked up thing. And I don't know if anyone here, I don't know if you've watched, I'm a huge fan of John Waters, and I don't know if you watched Pink Flamingo.
No, but when I saw it in your notes, I just looked it up just to see what you were like referencing so I would know, and I read about it. That is the most I will never watch it.
No, don't. Oh my god, I was traumatized. I don't know if anyone knows about this in the comments. I'm sure a lot of you guys know John Waters and Divine, which is, you know, the filthiest person alive. So in Divine, in Pink Flamingo, which has same kind of characters. Anyway, there is a scene where they use a chicken to like penetrate a girl until it dies, and that is 100% real apparently. And it's just these laws were not brought into place in, I guess, the 70s and the 80s. I don't even know when the laws were brought into place to protect animals on film, but it's pretty messed up. And those two, I think, Cannibal Holocaust, so much more brutal than I remember the first, like, when I watched it originally. Like, I don't know what I was thinking that I thought that was okay. And Pink Flamingo are the most brutal movies in terms of animal torture. But yeah, as a person who watched Cannibal Holocaust, you know, when I was 18, I thought it was fucking cool. But you know what really affected me? I was aware of obviously the animal, like that was awful and you're waiting for it. But the things that really affected me was also the rape scenes. There's like at least 5 or 6 different rape scenes. It gets to a point, it's just hard to stomach and it's fucking awful. Like it's obviously, but it's insane. And I think it just all goes hands in hand with what the director's aim was for the film, was just to shock people. That's the only thing that this film is meant to do. Obviously the meaning is meant to be stupid, ignorant, Americans go into the Amazon and think that they can like just go in there and like be fine.
Mm.
There is a quote that I wrote down that they actually use in the film, which sums it up really well, which is, the more you rape the senses, the happier they are, which obviously is about when they're looking back at the footage. And that is what the film is. The Cannibal Holocaust is them trying to rape your senses to make you feel shocked and talk about the film. And you know what? It worked. But any other purpose than that, it's horrifying.
It is. And I mean, that's part of the controversy of this movie, is that the actors and pretty much just everyone involved in the movie or at least from what I read, had an awful time shooting it. Like, they knew that they were making something that was just like insane and out there, and they didn't want to do the scenes. They were upset to have to do some of the things that they had to do. And I read that the native like extras were also really mistreated and like underpaid as well too, for all of the awful things that they had to do for this movie to be portrayed that way and not get fairly compensated or fairly treated, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, do you want to talk a little bit about the director and everything he went through in terms of, nearly getting arrested for? Or he got arrested, and then he had to, because I know that he sent, after the film took place, because it is arguably the first found footage, he sent the actors away, almost like they do in the Blair Witch, in hiding, so that you actually think that they're dead, and it's a real snuff film.
Yeah.
And then what happened with the director?
Basically, it was like a week and a half after the movie premiered. It was like, at that point, it was already seized by the government. People were freaking out. And he was originally arrested or brought in on obscenity charges, was the original thing. And then later he got charged of making a snuff film, and that's when he had to contact the actors, and they appeared on like a TV talk show or something like that to prove that, like, hey, we're alive, we're not actually dead, that sort of thing. And that's when he got released of those charges. But obviously people were still upset just at the movie overall, and then obviously back to the animal cruelty, a lot of people were upset about. And I did read, I don't know how true it is, that was the only thing that he regretted in the movie, was including the animals.
Oh, okay.
Like the one thing he looked back on. Although he did make a very good argument.
Did he?
I saved the quote.
Oh,
It's like, I'm in a weird space with this movie. I didn't like seeing the scenes, but this was his quote. It was in an interview for Electric Sheep. I'm not really sure what that is, but in response
shout
out to Electric Sheep, he said, they don't make the connection between the food on the table that mommy has cooked for them from the supermarket and the fact that the animal has actually been killed. When you go to a third world country, people kill animals. I saw pigs and rabbits being killed growing up on a country farm when I was young. My son has not seen this because times have changed. He hasn't had the experience I have. For him, it all comes prepackaged. Which I kind of, like, I do agree with in a sense, you know, being a vegan. Part of why I am is because of the way animals are treated in the factory farms. And when people like, oh, I don't want to hear that, I pretty much have the same argument. So I'm like in a weird space with this movie in terms of animals.
Yeah, my issue is that he didn't, like, the kills, though, for the animals, he didn't try and make it like a political statement in the film.
Yeah.
He didn't even have an intro to the killing. It was just something that you saw. And the turtle, which is the one that everyone talks about because it was like, 100 years old or something, the foreigners killed the turtle. So it's not even like it's something to do with the culture. It's just the shock value, and I think that's what I have the issue with. It's different. I mean, in another film we're going to talk about in a bit, it's different in other films because they're kind of making remarks about, the political statement of being a vegan or, animal cruelty. And this film, it was just there to shock you. And as I said, the quote before, it's just here to like rape your senses. And that's like, you don't have to kill 6 animals to make a point.
Yeah. And
especially without any, they don't have a conversation before it happens. It's just a shot in the film.
Yeah.
And the film is like super jarring in that way. Even before they find the found footage, it's just bizarre and like, I don't know, like it's just all these scenes kind of stitched together. It's not really like a fluid kind of, I don't know. Do you feel the same way? Like, I just didn't feel like it was, I mean, it's good it's not spoon-fed to you, but it was just all over the place for me.
Yeah. It just felt like an onslaught of just one horrible scene after another from that first initial, I don't know what they call it, like the adulteress scene or something, when the rescue crew is going and they see like the man dragging the woman out of the boat and violently like penetrating her with this thing and then beating her over the head, and like after that it felt like just like one awful thing after another. And I agree,
like, do you need
just without much real meaning things.
And someone on Twitter actually earlier in the week was talking to Vicky and I and saying that all the rapes were justified. And I get that there's probably like a progression in the film, and this one is meant to show like that they don't understand this, and this one's meant to show that the Americans are becoming just as like who is the real barbarians in the situation, you know what I mean? But you don't need to, objectify animals and women. This is not a fucking feminist film by any means. It's awful. You don't need to objectify them the whole time. And there's not like one, like in the Americans, there's obviously a woman who is part of the crew who goes over there.
Yeah.
And she is partner with, it's her boyfriend who she's going over with. And he's just like fucking people, like, and it's, even one point they're having sex and it's caught on film, and it's just, she's just like an object the whole time. And at one point they're raping another girl, and she's telling them to stop and why are you filming this, and she's just kind of pushed to the side. And I guess that was towards the end of the film, and it's meant to show how much they changed and who is the real monsters in the situation. One thing that is really funny about this is that we haven't even commented on the fact that there is cannibalism in the film. Because that's not the shocking thing to us, and I want to hear what you have to say, but this is how I feel. I don't feel it is shocking at all to see people eat people, because I find, and I think you would probably be the same, you find it shocking to see people eat animals.
That's a good point.
Oh, I thought you would have thought that.
Yeah,
what do you think about it? Like, I don't care. Like, eat a person. Like, I don't care.
I wouldn't necessarily say that I don't care. Like, if somebody were to hold a gun to my head, maybe I shouldn't say this, like, it being recorded. I'm gonna lose all credibility. The vegan police are gonna come in here. But if somebody held a gun to my head and was like, you have to eat this person or you have to eat this chicken, like,
you'd eat the chicken.
Yeah. And I feel like as a society too, like, we just hold cannibalism as kind of like one of those like ultimate like sins, I guess you will, like, that you can do. Like, one of the worst things you could do is eat another person. Which, not having a gun held to my head, I would say I do put it on the same level as eating an animal, for sure.
Yeah. Would you eat, I hate putting you in this situation, but I'm going to. Would you eat a person you don't know or your dog?
Ooh. That's different.
That's one for the comments as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to know what the comments think, but like literally the first thing, like my first reaction in my head was eat the person I don't know.
Yeah, totally. But it's not meant to, obviously this is not a real, it's not going to fucking happen.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
I find it shocking. Cannibalism happens in a lot of countries and a lot of secluded places, and yeah, of course it's scary and freaky, but it's humans. Humans are just always out for themselves, and I think that it's funny that we can see. Well, I guess in this respect, it's exactly what we're saying. We saw a lot of dead animals, but then we saw a lot of body parts, and I know that the dead animals were real. But when you watch a movie and the dog dies, that's the saddest part. Yep. It's not sad when it's a horror movie and that person dies. So it's just really funny because I guess Cannibal Holocaust was meant to be so shocking because of the cannibalism in it, but really all we're talking about is the rape scenes and the animal kills. And really, do we ever actually see somebody eat somebody else in Cannibal Holocaust? I think you see bits and pieces. I can't remember, like, not like in Green Inferno, like we're going to talk about a little bit later. It's not that, like, overt, like, they're eating people. Yeah. it's kind of assumed,
Yeah,
but
it's
I'm
more
pretty
just
sure there are sections of them like eating flesh, but I don't think it's like you can see like the whole fucking body attached to it.
Which I think is
you're
interesting.
right. You're quite right. Because now I think about it, like all I can think of is Green Inferno, like you just said.
I just think that's interesting for a movie, one called Cannibal Holocaust. The most shocking bits are not people eating other people. The most shocking bits are the animal deaths and the rape scenes and all of that.
Yeah. No, very, very true. Which is super interesting. What do you guys think in the comments? I'm like trying to read really quickly.
I know, yeah. I think
pretty sure human tastes like pork. Dead Real says.
I'll try it over the weekend and let you all know.
Horror Mr. Monty says, I love cats. I don't know if that means you actually love them or you love eating them.
Yeah.
Dave Barnes says, okay, I'm cutting off my arm so you guys can eat it. Okay. That's really funny.
Thomas, you missed a lot. You missed if you have the choice to eat a stranger or your dog, which would you eat? That's what you missed. So now you have to answer the question.
Tom has a really adorable dog as well. So yeah, there you go.
No.
I know how everyone's breed of dogs. It's really funny.
Raider says Aussies probably taste like kangaroo. How do you know what kangaroo tastes like?
Well, I do because we eat it. Fun fact is Australia is the only country in the world that eats its coat of arms. So we have a emu and a kangaroo, and you can find both of them in the supermarket. No joke.
I didn't realize that was that common.
Oh, it's so common. You have kangaroo salad if you go to like a restaurant. It's so common. The uncommon things are like crocodile which I'm sure you guys eat, alligator.
But still, it's not that common. Like
kangaroo is very common.
Yeah, like if you go to like a seafood festival, sure you can get alligator pretty easily, but it's not like in the supermarket.
Yeah, it's in the supermarket. I'm filming next time for you guys. I'm sure you'll love that. You can't wait. Okay, and Dead Real also says that he or she has two pet rats, and they'd eat their neighbors before they ate their rats. Love that.
100%.
Okay. Wow. I feel like it was so good because Vicky and I have been talking about this back and forth, and it feels good to like get all these like thoughts out. I feel like we've covered everything. The only thing I really wanted to touch on quickly is if people haven't seen the film Cannibal Holocaust, there's a famous scene that I refer to as like the bicycle scene, only because it's a woman who's on a pole, and you would have seen this. It's almost the posters. People have figurines of it, and this was one of the things that they, I guess, was taken to court over because it looked so realistic and they couldn't figure out how do they do it. And the reason I call it the bicycle scene is if you watch the behind the scenes, you can see that they've got bicycle pedals that the person is actually standing on, and the pole just looks a certain way. So I just want to advise anyone who does want to go see this movie after watching this stream. Sometimes it's good to look at these behind the scenes because it doesn't freak you out as much when you see it. So if you're worried about that, I'd suggest looking up the bicycle scene. But good luck with the animal kills. I did hear that there was a version where the rape scenes and the animal kills were cut out.
So what's left?
Probably be a really boring movie though.
How long is it? Like 30 minutes?
I know, like six animal deaths. Like that's insane.
I felt like that was the whole movie. Maybe it's just because I felt like so like affronted and traumatized when I was watching it.
No, I don't blame you. Yeah. It's so weird that people just talk about the turtle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess that is
one
because
thing, I remember not right before this. It was a while ago. I looked up what the animal death scene was in Cannibal Holocaust because somebody had brought it up. I don't know. And I was led to believe that some of the things I read out there are like, or at least somebody told me, I can't remember what it is now, and it's making me mad. But I was told that there was only one animal death, and they were like, oh, it's just a turtle, it's fine. And then when you started tweeting like 6 animal deaths in this, and I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah, no, I forgot too. I totally forgot. I just can't believe I forgot that. Like, I don't know. The film overall, I guess, to wrap up the meaning, I mean, we've spoken about this. It is just a shock value film, and because of the nature of the found footage being, you know, arguably the first found footage film, I guess that's where it gets all its hype. But if this film was, you know, put out there today, or, you know, even like a, you know, after Blair Witch, it would be bizarre. It would be, I mean, obviously it couldn't because of animal rights laws. Hopefully, I think, I don't know when they came into play. If anyone can correct me in the comments.
I just don't know if it's different for other countries, though, too. Mm-hmm. If he was in a different, like, obviously this was not filmed in, at least those scenes were not filmed in the U.S.
Yeah. No, that's true.
So we could, I don't know.
We'll never know, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, banned in 50 countries.
Yeah,
I'm sure it was banned
like,
here.
I know UK, like, I think, I didn't write it down, but I think it just became unbanned in, like, something insane, like 2003 or something like that, like, really recent, like.
I think that in some countries it's actually, maybe even in the UK, that you can't legally buy the movie, but you can own it, if something like that. So they're trying not to sell it in stores, but if you happen to see it or you buy it online, I guess that's all down the where now we've got video on demand. It's a little bit different and a little bit more accessible. All these films are.
Yeah, that's true. 100% true. Should we say whether it offends us or not, or do we want to save that to the end?
No, we can say it now.
Okay.
Does it offend you?
This one does, yes.
I totally agree. It's like the rapes. The rapes were the big thing for me. I was kind of, I don't know, like, I just don't understand how, I mean, obviously the animal kills, but I'm like, I'm so used to hearing that synonymous with the film, and I was just not like expecting to rewatch it and see 5 or 6, I can't even remember how, but by the end I was just like, I was kind of watching it out of one eye, like, seriously, can we stop? Like, it offends me as a woman, and it really does. Fuck you guys, I don't care. And waiting for all the men to be like, ah! And it, it offends me as like an animal lover, and I'm sure everyone in the chat can agree with that. It is offensive what they did to these poor innocent creatures on film. It's
offensive what he did to the cast of this film.
Very true.
It's offensive. It's our stamp of approval. It's offensive.
We're going to have a list now. We've got to start a list. Offensive and non-offensive.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, we'll make it happen.
Okay, I'm down. Okay, shall we get on to... That was good.
Yeah. On to Green Inferno?
Okay. Yeah.
Fun fact, the working title for Cannibal Holocaust was The Green Inferno.
Yeah, well, also in Cannibal Holocaust, the film that they find is called The Green Inferno.
Oh, yeah,
so that's
right.
Yeah. But also there is a film that is called The Green Inferno from, like, the 80s, I believe. I haven't watched it.
Oh, no.
I saw that when I was looking around, poking around. I don't know how, like, what the production's like.
Right.
But I always put these two together. Also, if anyone in the comments wants to write like why they don't find it offensive or why they find it offensive in like a whole sentence, like explanation, I'd love to read it. So let us know. Okay, do you want to intro Green Inferno?
Yeah.
Since you're so good at intro.
Okay,
you're so good at
Okay, so the Green Inferno, I'm gonna go ahead and assume that most of the people have probably seen this one more over Cannibal Holocaust. But just in case you haven't, it's about a college freshman, Justine, who kind of becomes involved in this like social activism group on her college campus led by Alejandro. And they decide that they are going to go to South America and they're going to protest these logging companies that are destroying the rainforest and killing off native like tribes and groups that are in the forest. So they're going to protest that. I won't get into that whole drama with that. But basically what ends up happening is they get trapped in the forest. It's like, I could explain the whole plot, but then I'd just be reenacting the whole movie. But basically, push comes to shove, things happen. They get caught in the forest by this cannibal tribe, and they have to fight to get out. And one by one, people are eaten.
It's a horror movie.
It's a horror movie. Directed by Eli Roth, too. I should have said I didn't say any of the directors, but this one's
and is he still with the main girl who is in this film? Because that was his girlfriend for a long time.
I read they got married.
Oh, lovely. She's also in Knock Knock, if anyone
I don't know if they still, what the status of that is.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know they were married, so.
For all I know, I'm just going to assume they're broken up because Channing Tatum and Jenna Dewan are now broken up, and I don't believe love is real anymore, so.
That's funny. Everyone's saying that's his wife, I love her. She's great. Okay. She was great in Knock Knock. But what I love about her performance in this film in particular is she's so innocent, and I love it. Like, she is such a good actress. I really, really appreciate her work. I don't even know where to start with this film. First off, I fucking love this film. This film is amazing. Watching it was this your first time or your second time watching it?
No, this was my second time watching it. This one I had seen before.
I actually have a review out from when I first watched this, and I was watching it the first time with a friend, but this time watching it by myself, I just clued on to so much more stuff, and obviously this one is more relatable for myself, and I'm sure the same for you, Vicky, living in like modern society with social media, and it makes comments on being an activist and what that really means. And it's just like a social commentary, and it also does have the same elements as Cannibal Holocaust, where they go in and they try, well, I guess Cannibal Holocaust is more, they go in to try and just document this group of people, but in this film they go to try and save them, and I love the meaning in this film because they go in to try and save them, but they're not the ones who need saving. They actually end up trying to get saved from them. So it's like, who really needs help in this situation? Do we really need to fucking stick our neck out for something we don't understand? Sometimes people don't need your help, and they're not the helpless ones, you are, which I really loved about this film. And I think that the whole setup and the premise, the way they did it, as you said, when you're introing the film, it's really hard to explain because there's lots of twists and turns in this film. It's not like a straightforward idea. Right. And there's a little like symbolism everywhere. For people who've seen it, I love the part where at the start he's saying like, use your phone as your weapon, and they're like, we need guns, we can't just use a phone. And at the end, spoiler alert, she uses her phone as a weapon, and it saves her. And I just love it. It's so clever. If you haven't seen the film, and I've just said that, you have no idea what it means until the last scene. So it's in a different way than when you think. So it is definitely worth a watch. I fucking love this film. Where do we start? I just think it's a great film. And it hits on a lot of different stuff. It also, surprisingly, because it is meant to be about this group in the Amazon, that they're going to help from being, I guess, deforestation, it hits on a lot of other points. It hits on, they also talk about female mutilation in some countries, and they hit on this quite early. One of the main character, her dad works for the UN, and he tells her, you can't just go into countries and tell them what to do with, their people or their culture or like how to change things. And I love that whole idea of people seeing something, especially like in this one, again, they have the ignorant American traveling to go somewhere and them not understanding the difference in culture. And I really like that they hit on that point. But again, something completely different. Shocking wise, female mutilation, she learns about it in college, and then she tries to talk to her dad about it. And the way that, I'm going to refer a bit to to Cannibal Holocaust, but the way that obviously they bring up a topic and they actually talk about it and make it a conversation within the film is so different to that film. Nothing really happens in the film, but they talk about it more. It's more of a conversational piece on each topic. Do you get what I mean?
I get you.
Just really well at hitting on things and like really not spelling it out, but making it quite clear. Is there any in particular topic that you wanted to start on with this?
I like what you were talking about, like how the ignorant, Americans like poking our noses where we shouldn't. I liked that this film touched on that. I think it did it in a more upfront way than Cannibal Holocaust does, which that still does it a little bit, but this one is a little bit more. Well, you have like it, it's definitely saying something about what the internet calls slacktivism, which is activism for the sake of boosting your own ego. So basically, you pretty much can tell most of this group is they're just fueled by this sense of like superiority when they're going in, like because they're from a developed country, they're from a civilized country, so they just automatically assume that they can go in and help and make a difference, and that's why they're going. And there's like a kind of detachment, I feel like, between them, and that's why they just charge head on into it, and that's why it becomes so shocking and jarring when these two groups meet and when they get captured, because they did not. What happened? Sorry, my screen went dark for a second. I was like,
no. I thought you were acting in the film. Like, what happened when you met?
Nope, just talking about cannibals, and my screen goes dark. I freaked out. What was I saying? Reflectivism, yeah.
When the two groups meet.
Yeah, and it's all, I don't know, I really like that aspect of the movie, and I feel like that's kind of one, maybe not so many people get offended over, but, I mean, I feel like it's something that's, like, really something that, I don't know, I'm going to sound bad, but just, like, Americans do all the time. But at least now it's more social media fueled, but I like to see it, I liked how they portrayed it in this movie. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, totally. And yeah, they make a couple of jokes at the start, and even to make the kind of ignorant American, I'm going to just do this every time I do that so I don't get in trouble, ignorant American comment, and they, to make the characters seem like that, they did use one thing that I did think was offensive, and this is something that I'm sure as we go on with this series and these streams, it's going to, if we hit on any 80s movies, it offends me. There's lots of homophobic terms in a lot of horror movies, and in this one, and I know that what they were trying to hit on doesn't make it okay, but I know what they were trying to hit on. They say something at the point, they say, this is just laughable because it's so stupid. Activism is so fucking gay, and obviously you guys know that, it's a homophobic thing to use it in a negative, and in a negative way, but it was just a thing to show how little and how naive these girls were, and I guess it was the language in the film, but I'm sure, leaving it there, moving on, we're going to definitely see more of that homophobic speak in horror movies, which is something that I think people are just okay with, and should, think about. I just want, all I say is just think about it a little bit, what they're saying, because it's pretty, gross. Anyway, that's something I had up the start of my note.
You're good. It's pretty shocking to see it in a more modern horror film, though. I feel like sometimes we kind of just let it slide, depending on what year the movie came out, where we're kind of just that's just, it wasn't as big a deal as it was back then. But I just thought it was definitely an interesting line to use. This movie came out in 2013?
Yeah. Well, it's one of those, it's like a slang, when people use that word that way. And I think that's what they were getting at. Obviously, it was meant to be to show that they just are fucking children and they don't get life and they speak a certain way. But yeah, I don't know. That's just something that's the only thing that I actually found really offensive about this film. Let's get on to the actual, shock value of this film, because believe it or not, this film is shocking and does have some shocking scenes. And I saw someone said that this Eli Roth could have made it. Sorry, I wish I could find your comment. Someone said, so Jeff said that Eli Roth could have made it more gruesome than he did. Disappointing, but okay. I think that a lot of the gruesomeness is definitely fluffed around, because the film also has a little bit of a comedic value to it, and I know that's put very lightly, but even before, I'm sure you know this, Vicky, before they had the locals or the natives act in the film. They showed them Cannibal Holocaust, and apparently they were laughing the entire time because they thought it was they'd never seen a movie before, and they thought it was a comedy. So, have you heard that? No. Something that I keep seeing over and over. I don't know how true it is, but I think that there's actually footage, behind the scene footage of them watching it, and little kids being like, "Oh my god," because they don't understand what a film is anyway. So I guess I didn't get the story behind it, but there is some comedic factor in there, and I feel like it makes the film a little bit more campy, so people don't assume that it's shocking. But there is a lot of shocking things in it. As I said before, female mutilation. They have that shitting scene that a lot of people really hate, which I didn't think it was that bad rewatching it. They had the penetration of the main character when she gets tested if she's a virgin, or everyone gets tested. They have a suicide scene where someone completely slashes their throat, would rather be dead. Which is so disturbing.
Vegan, by the way, the vegan slashes their throat.
Yeah, there you go. And if the weird thing is, if that was in Cannibal Holocaust, we would totally say that that's shocking. But because it's kind of fluffed up in the Green Inferno, no one actually sees it. It's a very shocking part of the film when it happens, because it happens she really sees something and she goes, "Nah, I'm out." Yeah. The masturbation scene. Not because I don't think masturbation is offensive at all, but the way it happens is just bizarre. He's just consent is needed in that fucking situation. They're stuck in a cage. Yeah, it's Alejandro. And they're stuck in the cage, and he just starts fucking beating off, and they're all just dying and staring at him, and it's bizarre. And I do think it's shocking. It's hilarious, but it's shocking. This is what I mean. It's all fluffed up. There is shocking aspects in this film. You don't normally see masturbation in a lot of films. I'm pretty sure they bumps it up. I'm sure this would have been an R film anyway, but masturbation definitely bumps it up a film. I guess they kind of build up it to assume that there's a rape at the end as well, where it doesn't happen. But she's waiting. Her legs are up on fucking stirrups. Situation. So. It's all kind of, and this is what Cannibal Holocaust lacked, is there was no build for tension. It was just, shock, 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 where this film really plays with the senses. They're in a dire situation. People are getting killed off kind of one by one. And when people get killed off, they get, there's that ant scene. I don't know I fucking hate ant bites. And that guy's got ants crawling all over him. And he's kill me, that is so shocking and terrifying. But because of the campiness of the film, and because, there's one scene where they're pulling apart a body, and the kid runs away, and she's carrying a leg. I don't know if you saw that. She's like, ha! And Dean was watching over my shoulder and even laughed. Because of that kind of aspect and the comedy that's kind of put in there, because they're making fun of the situation that that Americans could be so stupid. I feel like it's not shown as shocking, but I feel like he does play with a lot of tension and builds up a lot better than Cannibal Holocaust, which is right in your face to try and be shocking for the shock value. But when you change the tone, you can get away with a lot more, with a lot less people thinking that it is shocking. Yeah. That was a long paragraph or whatever the fuck that was.
I think it helps to think about each scene individually, though, because you are right. The humor does kind of take away from it being so shocking, at least in my opinion. And at least to me, I feel like it's kind of like a wave, where it starts off just straight shocking, then we have all these humorous parts in the middle, the vegan joke, or at least I assume it's a joke. I don't know if it was meant to be a joke, but I take it as a joke. And the whole stuffing her body full of weed and getting the natives high and things like that. In the middle, it's just all these humorous, and the munchie scene, and then it goes back down to being just brutal again at the end when she's in the makeshift stirrups or whatever. I fucking hate that scene. Every time I watch it, I cross my legs. So it's the worst. But it's kind of, I don't know, the movie's kind of confusing in tone for me that way. Some parts of it are really shocking, but the humorous bits are kind of just, they are funny, but it just, the tone shift is weird for me.
No, I get that. But it's very like Eli Roth. I feel like
that's true.
You know, that's kind of like, I love him, and I think that he is very consistent in being inconsistent in tone. I guess he likes to do things that are like very confusing, shocking wise, but then also like give it an edge and kind of take the piss out of it. As I don't know if do you guys say take the piss out of it in America?
Nope.
Yeah, sorry. I saw someone use it in a film the other day, and they used it completely wrong, and it confused me. So I was like, do Americans say that?
I mean, we say like take a piss, like to go take a piss, like
you know, make
fun of.
Did you say
like,
Mickey? Like, yeah.
No, we don't say that. I know what you mean when you say it, but we don't say that either.
Yeah, make fun of. Take the piss out of just means to make fun of. There you go. It's set in Canada, apparently. Yeah, well, where was I? Yeah, he tries to do it to take the piss out of it. But the main thing also, when I was saying with the Cannibal Holocaust again, with how that offended me in the way it was about females, like the way it presented females, or like, you know, just didn't have any fucking strong female roles. This film is, you know, centered around one girl's, you know, travel experience, I don't know what you want to call it, and her shift in her, you know, her thinking, oh my god, we've got to help these people, and then her realizing, sorry, that's really loud, and then her realizing that, you know, that she is the one in danger. And there was a lot of female roles in this film, and then never are they really objectified. Really, are they?
Yeah, not really. I guess you could maybe call like the testing scene.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah, and but that's all by the, you know, by the locals.
Yeah.
So it's like a little bit. Yeah, I just thought that was an interesting fact that it does have the same kind of shocking appeal. Obviously, there's no fucking like dead animals.
Yeah.
Although, do they kill any animals? And it's like, I don't think they even touch on it. Maybe he stayed away from it completely because of that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Hmm.
I feel like there was a pig in the movie somewhere.
Yeah, there was. There were like, I thought it was really funny. There was a stage where, you know, they were killing the humans, or they're like, you know, eating their flesh, and there's like pigs and cows and stuff like sleeping around them.
Yeah.
It was like, they don't even see it that way. I'm sure that they would be eating those animals if they hadn't like run into this whole people. But I think it's like a really funny comment, and I think that it was obviously on purpose, like the way it's framed, those shots, to show that, you know, is it really the same, and why is it's so jarring to your brain? Yeah.
No, I think that's funny too. I like the scene right before the throat slashing scene where they're given food. You know, when they realize they're eating somebody, how they just kind of like go for it when Alejandro's like, it's just pork scratchings or whatever, or something like that. Like, why would you ever assume that? Ever?
Yeah.
You literally watched your friend.
Yeah. What do you think? They just like got there?
I'm sure it's just pig. Like.
That is funny. But yeah, I feel like the film also had a lot of more complex characters, and went more into depth. I really like her relationship with the guy who is actually like the kid from Spy Kids. I don't know if you like.
Oh yeah, that guy, yeah.
I was like, that's the Spy Kids. Like, I love him, and I think that their relationship was quite cute. Like, and as well, like a platonic relationship in a horror movie. What? Like, they became like friends really quickly.
How dare they?
Yeah, and you know, she was like surrounded by men that was respecting her, and they were all trying to get out together, and it wasn't a sex thing. And I know, like, it sounds probably stupid me even bringing it up because it has nothing to do with it, but that's the point, is that for once it has nothing to do with it, and it's great. And that's like something I really like about Eli Roth's films, and this film in particular.
Yeah. Or at least it's never acted upon. I think it's assumed that some of the guys find, what's her name? Justine?
Yeah.
Like cute or cute, like
friends.
Yeah. Like they find her like cute and they like her or whatever, but it's never acted upon though. Yeah. There's no like sexual.
And it's not like it's just he has like a crush on her. It's not like he doesn't turn her into a sexual fucking object.
Right.
Which is, again, a lot different from Cannibal Holocaust. I know that these films aren't the same, but when I guess when the marketing for Green Inferno came out, a lot of people assumed it was going to be a complete remake. And I think that this film is just so much smarter in the way that it takes the idea of going to the Amazon and finding a, you know, what do you call it, like an untouched tribe, and interacting with them and it all going wrong, which is such a clever movie for, like, idea for a movie. But I love the social media aspect on this and the commentary on, we're going to go somewhere and we're going to save them and everyone's going to know and we're going to be heroes, and then going there and again them not being like them being the ones who need to be saved. And I think it's a great message, and they didn't have to add in, you know, Alejandro and how, like, terrifying and evil he was and fucking weird masturbating in the corner. They didn't have to add in all that stuff. He has, like, a girlfriend. Then this whole, like, UN thing with her father. Like, they added so many aspects to make it so interesting that it was such a straightforward story, but I just really like all the little touches they had on it. It really kept it going. Like, I don't know if you felt like that, but I was not bored at all during this film. I just thought it was amazing the whole time.
Yeah, no, I remember, I don't know if I ever posted a review of it when I did it. I remember... Yeah,
I know when I said I posted a review, you were like...
Yeah, I was trying to remember. I was like, did I actually do a review of it or not? I can't remember. I wasn't that huge of a fan of it when I first watched it, but there was like a marked difference. Maybe it was because I watched it, like, the day after Cannibal Holocaust. I would have found, like, anything better. There was a marked difference. I think because, too, like, the more that I think about it, I feel like the Green Inferno is just the better version of Cannibal Holocaust. Like, it's shocking sequences that are cohesive and makes more sense. The keyword is cohesive. It's a story. It makes sense. It's not just, like, an onslaught of awful images. So it's definitely grown on me. For sure.
Yeah. And... Sorry, you go on.
No, you're good. You're good. Go.
One thing I have written down as well about the film that I really liked, and I know a lot of people, if you watch my reviews, you probably know this. I love when a horror movie has, like, a friendship kind of aspect, and I felt like this film had a lot to do with them all banding together, and, like, they're all completely different. They don't really know each other, but then all of a sudden they all kind of come together to try and find a solution. And again, I guess friendship in horror movies just makes it, like, I feel like that's, like, such a Stephen King thing sometimes as well. Like, I just like, you know, a good friendship in a horror movie is something that is rare, and it's something that is hard to kind of show amidst all the story. And I felt like there was a hidden one here, like, you know, where her and these other guys kind of just try and band together and try and figure out what the fuck they're going to do.
Yeah.
And, you know, with the weed stuffing it down the mouth. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that as well. Like, that there is some hidden aspects that you might not expect in this film, which I really liked.
I also do like the way, since you just made me think of it, the way it handles the, I don't know if I would call them, like, a relationship, like the vegan and the other girl whose name I don't know, who they end up eating. How they make it, like, kind of seem like they have a romantic thing going on.
They kiss on the lips at one point,
Yeah, and you can kind of see, like, they're, like, flirting and stuff, like, on the trip over and things like that. I really like the way that was handled as well.
Yeah,
like,
it wasn't, like, a huge in-your-face aspect, but it
wasn't, like, exploited, and it wasn't there just to, like, titillate the male audience, like, ooh, look at this girl on girl, like, that sort of thing.
Yeah, totally. The only sexy scene in that was the masturbation scene. It was so wrong. Like it's laughable as it's happening. You're like, what the fuck? What is going on?
I just love that he's explaining his reasoning for it while he's with the sound effect of him masturbating. Like, he's explaining, like, oh, well, in a tense situation like this, you need to release energy.
And he's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And he just keeps going. Ugh. It's bizarre.
It is so bizarre. There's something wrong with that character, seriously.
Yeah, which we love. We love that.
Yeah.
That's the best. And I guess as well, sorry, I should have touched on this before. The other aspect I've just kind of realized, the aspect of friendship was the relationship she has with that little boy as well. So you think I thought for so long that boy was gonna like fuck her over, like, yeah, come here, and like stab her or something. But he sees something in her that is as innocent as he is, I feel like, because he was just a child and she obviously was innocent going into the situation. She had no idea what she was walking into.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool too. And then by the end, she's just owning it. She's just telling people what's what. I love that.
How do you feel about that, the ending though? Sorry, I'm going to ask her about it and like spoil it completely, where she basically covers for
I
the
like
tribe
that
at the end.
because she knows that she shouldn't have been there the whole time, and I like that. What did you think?
I feel like when I first saw it, I didn't understand as well as I did, and I was kind of just like, why? Like, why would you do that? Like, come on,
Kill
just like,
them.
yeah, send the troops in there and kill them all. But no, I do like it. It's to me, it shows that she changed, but not at the end. Like, I feel like she's still as like passionate about like activism as she was, because she seemed to be like the only like genuine one in the group, at least to me, that was like genuinely interested in activism in the beginning of the movie. So I like that she kind of kept that as well, and while at the same time, like, she knows, I don't know, like you said, she knows that she wasn't supposed to be there, and as long as nobody just stupidly goes into their territory, they're not coming out of the woods to drag people away to eat them. Like, they're not harming anybody. They're the ones that did the harm, and she learns that by the end of the movie.
Yeah. And I think it is like her dad tried to tell her a lesson, like, you can't just go in somewhere and like take over and change a culture, and she lived that. So I think that's her actually just learning that lesson. And it was a good ending, because it was like, it wasn't like, it would have been so easy for her to go back and do it any other way. So I liked it. It ended on a note like of you wondering why, and then kind of like recapping and realizing that her perspective on the situation is going to be changed now, and she knows that you can't just go in there and do what the fuck you want to people. Yeah.
I wanted to ask too, this kind of relates to both movies, so I thought I would throw it in on the end. I wanted to ask, like, how you felt about the portrayal of, I don't know, since we're both online and, we're YouTubers or whatever, influencers, whatever you want to call us or something, how you felt about the portrayal of, like, the use of the phones. I feel like it's more about activism in the Green Inferno as it is the Cannibal Holocaust. But, like, the use of technology and social media, and especially in Cannibal Holocaust, kind of how the film crew, you understand, has kind of become desensitized. At least that's what I got, to all the horrible stuff that they filmed, to the point that they're creating chaos and situations for them to film, and they've become desensitized. So how do you feel about that as a YouTuber?
Well, as a YouTuber, I mean, you and I do movie reviews usually just in our houses, so I don't feel like that. But as my professional job, which I'm a VJ for a news website. Oh, geez, that was really loud. I was trying to clear my throat. I feel like it's so sad. It's terrifying. It happens every day, and it's fucking, clickbait is awful. And this is the thing, though, that it's not a one person does it and it's their fault.
Yeah.
Of course it's your fault if you go out and cause chaos and then film it, but the people who keep clicking it and keep sharing it and keep talking about it also have something to play in the social aspect of it, that the reason why it is so popular and why it keeps happening. And people then comment on it and complain about, I don't want to see this, blah, 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 like, this is shit, blah, blah, blah. Like, but the more they do that, the more traction these things get. Yeah. So it's a fucking cycle, and unless, like, you at home stop and don't click on anything, don't watch anything that's like outrageous, but you want to, you want to see, and you're right about the desensitized. People are totally desensitized when there's a screen in front of them. I feel like I'm not as desensitized because I have to blur out people being shot and stuff every day. Like, that's what I do at work. So, and it's still fucks me up to this day. But when you see the desensitized version, it is, it's horrible. And yet, you know, everyone still wants to see the video and still like trying to search. As soon as something bad happens, you know, it's trying to search and trying to watch the video. So I don't know if that answers your question, but I think it's awful.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring it up because I guess you could say the one good thing I got out of Cannibal Holocaust. I hate to bring it up, but it made me think of, like clickbait stuff and kind of like the YouTube culture of, you know, being sensational so people will click on it. And of course it, you know, made me think of Logan Paul. Don't like to give him too much credit by saying his name. But it made me think of that, and more specifically the reaction to it, like, you know, how his fans really didn't understand how he did something wrong, that sort of thing, and the video got likes and things like that. And it made me think about the like the executives, I guess they were, in Cannibal Holocaust, how they wanted to broadcast the documentary. And they themselves kind of became desensitized and didn't understand how awful it was until they were shown the uncut footage, which I thought was like an interesting thing to relate to, especially since this movie came out 30 years ago.
That is a really interesting thing. Like, if you think about, definitely in related to modern day social media, that would be a really cool idea if you got that footage of them like being shocked and clipped it up and did Logan Paul and then their reaction. You should do that. That's so clever. That is such a clever comment. And I know, I think what my point before, like, I love that. That was really clever what you said. My point before is, if Logan Paul, like, how many people did you watch the Logan Paul video? Because I did. I looked for it. I wanted to know what everyone was talking about and what exactly happened. And sometimes you want to know what exactly happened because you want to know, like, where you really stand. And I don't think it's wrong to want to know the facts on it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't want to go and, like, you know, start saying how awful it was and until I've seen it and seen it in its entirety. Yeah. But that's what gives it traction, you know. People start talking, the buzz starts going, and then there's no stopping it. If no one watched that video, then it would be a completely different story, and maybe he would have done worse, you know. You never know. Yeah. But it's just interesting to see both sides. I think that people really don't take responsibility for watching clickbait, and the reason things get, you know, on the trending page on YouTube, talking about social media on trending page on YouTube, is because the algorithms pick it up that people are watching it and people are sharing it. The thumbs up, that's why thumbs up are so important, because that's what, if your ratio for views and thumbs up, it shows that people really like this content, so they suggest it to someone else who likes something similar, and it just is a snowball effect. So if you watch videos on YouTube that you like, give them a thumbs up, because it does, I'm not trying to like fucking promote us, but like, give it a thumbs up because it does promote what you're going to see. Yeah. But in Logan Paul's videos, I don't know, it's just people don't realize the part they have to play, and it's easy to put it on Logan Paul, which obviously it's 100% his fault. Like, I'm not saying it's not his fault, but it's easy for people to just be like, he did a shitty thing, blah blah. But the responsibility of the community is there too.
Yeah. I just wanted to bring it up because I thought about that when I was watching the movie. I don't like to relate everything to Logan Paul, but
yeah, it's your favorite thing. But I like the desensitization thing is something I guess a lot of horror lovers always talk about, and how desensitized we are. And I think I'm 100% desensitized, but I know the difference between watching a movie and seeing something, because I do see a lot of violence, real violence, and when I see it, it disgusts me. And in a movie, it's so different. I just, like, if people can't, the where the psychopaths are is when people cannot draw the line between reality and something being fake, and that's why Cannibal Holocaust offends me, because it is reality. Yeah,
100%. I feel like that kind of relates to the Green Inferno too, where a group of people are kind of that desensitized group where they don't really understand what they're going into, and I like that.
Yeah, and they see it, and it's raw, and it's different, and so does the Green Inferno offend you? Does this offend you?
No.
I love that film. So good. Like, the more I think about it, the more it's just so clever and has so many aspects. I saw a lot of people in the comments said that they hadn't seen it. Please watch it. It's
Oh, really? Oh,
I know you've said a couple of things, but you need to see it in its entirety because it's a great story.
I didn't realize. I thought at least like in the comments of like our promotional stuff, more people were talking about how they'd seen the Green Inferno, so I just assumed. I'm sorry, I just talked about the ending and stuff too. Jeez.
Oh, I think that's fine. I think people will live if they haven't seen it by now, you know. But it's definitely worth a watch. Like, there's a lot of stuff that we can't even talk about visually. It's like, I don't know, the production value of it. It's like just a really awesome film to watch.
Yeah.
So yeah, would recommend.
I did see some comments throughout the week and stuff, people talking about how the Green Inferno offended them because it was so bad. I'm curious if anybody in the chat feels that way.
It's the same way. That's funny. People hated that film before it even came out, though, because I know it had a lot of delays as well. There was a lot of issues with. I think it was the distribution house. Like, he had kept having issues putting it out. But lots of people hated that film before it came out. I don't know why. People don't like Eli Roth.
Eli Roth films, though.
Yeah.
Like, he's really hit or miss for a lot of people. I feel like you either really like the movie or you really just don't like it.
Yeah. Like, did you like Knock Knock?
I haven't seen Knock Knock.
Oh my god, you need to watch it. It's like two fucking women terrorizing Keanu Reeves. Like, it's amazing.
It's that one. Okay, I've seen the trailer. I haven't seen it.
Oh,
I've seen the trailers for it, though, so I know what you're talking about. Okay.
But at the end, it has like a very I'm not going to say what happens, but it's a very campy, like, jokey ending.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, what the fuck with the ending? It's so shit. I'm like, it's just meant to be a fun film. Yeah, are you writing it down?
Yeah.
I'd love to see a review on it. If you do a review, I'd love that.
Okay.
Because it's so, like, I just love it. It's so funny. Like, it's like funny games. Like, they go there just to fuck him up. Like, it's great. It's great. It's Zachary, amazing, really. So many people say that to me in the comments, and I think that they say it in this certain tone. Tell me if I'm right. It's like this: amazing, really. That's how I read it every time someone says that to me. I think it's a fun movie. As a woman, I like seeing the tables turned a little bit in horror movies. Don't get me wrong, violence is never the answer. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying but Keanu Reeves in that film, it's just, who doesn't love whatever the fuck Keanu Reeves is? Like, he is amazing. Did you see his Super Bowl ad? It's insane. Yes. He's so funny, and he's such like a great, interesting character, and I just loved. It was just a fun watch. I don't think it was like by any means like a 4-star, 5-star out of 5 film. But I do think it's just a really fun watch. Sorry, I get really enthusiastic. That's why I do.
No, I love that. Somebody asked if you saw the original, Darling Darkness.
No, I haven't.
If you watched the original Knock Knock. I didn't know is it the same?
I mean, I just assumed it's a story that's been told a couple of times, you know what I mean? Like,
okay.
I don't know if I've never heard of that. I don't know what the deal is, but I just assume if there's another one, is it a complete remake, or I guess, I don't know if you should look it up. What's it called? Darling. What was it called? Darling Darkling?
Oh, that's the user. That's the username.
Oh,
so I was saying, like, she said.
Oh, okay. Like, what's it called? Sorry, I didn't say. Darkness. Sorry, what is the original Knock Knock? Is it just called Knock Knock?
Yeah, she just asked, did you watch the original Knock Knock?
No.
Oh, original wasn't called Knock Knock. It was called Death Game.
Death Game.
Oh.
Sorry, Darling Darkness. I just typed you into IMDb. Make a film ready. What the fuck was it called again? Death Game. Death Game.
Yeah, see if that's like the...
Yeah, I'm into this. Okay. Oh yeah, it looks quite similar. 77. 2 young girls in the home. Oh yeah, it looks.
Oh, it looks like
it looks exactly the same, like the plot. Okay, I'm down. Yes. Okay, thank you for that. I had no idea it was a remake. There you go. Shot in 13 days. I am into this. Thank you so much. I love that.
Yeah, now I'm gonna watch both of them.
Doc the Metal Freak just said Knock Knock 2.
I
Who's
know,
there? Did you see that? That's funny. I like
Too funny. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should we? Or I guess we can open it up. Do you want to do questions first or the poll?
Let's do the poll.
Yeah, I haven't even looked, to be honest. It's been easy for me. So we put up a poll. We probably should have spoken about it at the start.
This is our first episode. Forgive us, everybody. Okay.
Yeah. We did a poll on my Twitter. That was, maybe we'll give you guys a few minutes to go over to it, actually.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. If you haven't voted, go do it, and then we'll do questions.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
There's a poll on my Twitter that, if you scroll down this, hopefully I didn't fucking tweet too much stuff yesterday. I retweeted, did you see that Stephen King is, like, praising A Quiet Place?
I'm now looking at your retweet of it right now. Good, because it's an awesome movie.
I know. I just love when Stephen King says anything on Twitter. He's very I love that he uses Twitter. Sorry, sidetracked. There is on Twitter, there's a poll asking what you find more offensive, Cannibal Holocaust or the Green Inferno. So far we have 56 votes, which is great. But so funny in the comments, so many people were like saying other films.
I know.
And I was like, or replying to it, and I was like, guys, these two films.
These two.
Right now, these two films. So that's quite funny. But if you do want to recommend a film, I think it works well to do two films that kind of have a similar theme.
Yeah.
I really want to do Human Centipede 1 and 2 at one point. Or have you seen the first one?
I've seen the first one. I've seen the first one and the third one, but not the second one. I don't know why.
The second one is fucked up. Like, the second one's the worst.
Okay.
Though the third one's pretty bad when he shanks that guy and then fucks him, you know? That's pretty bad. But if you guys have any suggestions of two films that kind of have a similar theme, you can let us know in the comments, or you can also tweet us, I guess. That works?
Yeah, I did get some suggestions on Instagram. If you send me one, I'm sure Emma too. I've been screenshotting them so that I remember them. Who's gotten some. I guess if anyone has questions or if there's anything you want to bring up about either movie. Also,
if you guys have any questions.
Yeah, or if you want to use this time to go vote really quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone's saying faces of death.
Music.
Monty is resounding faces of death.
I don't think I've even watched the whole thing.
I haven't watched it at all.
I think that I might have watched it when I was a kid. He pulled it up on someone's computer and then shut it. But I don't think I've actually watched it in its entirety.
Okay. Faces of death, Compliance, and The Girl Next Door. Why does The Girl Next Door sound familiar?
Compliance and, oh my god, we can't watch Compliance. It'll kill me. Girl Next Door is Jack Ketchum's, who passed away recently. It's his story, which is the same as an American Crime.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you've seen him. Have you seen Girl Next Door? It's about that girl they take and they torture. So American Crime has, what's her name? Hard Candy, Ellen Page. Ellen Page in it. And that's the more production, jazzy one, where American Crime, they're both based on a true story that happened to a girl. American Crime is, a bit more dark. Compliance, have you seen Compliance?
No, I haven't seen Compliance.
It is actually one of the most disturbing films of all time. And I watch a lot of really fucked up films. That film, I could not sleep. And it's not, it's not it's very, it's not gore or anything like that. It's I don't know do you want to know what it's about?
I mean, if you don't ever want to do it on this,
I don't know if I could watch it again. It tore my life apart. It's about, it's based on a true story.
Okay.
It's about a girl who gets, who's working in a fast food restaurant. By the way, if you're in America, it actually was in a McDonald's there. They don't tell you what the restaurant was. Where someone calls and starts telling her supervisor that she has done all this stuff and that she needs to be punished, and slowly they start to abuse her. And it's the Compliance is the call from
okay.
It's a very slow moving, like, how the fuck is this happening, screaming at the TV kind of movie. Like, the whole time you're like, oh my god, like, what? Like, it gets very sexual, and it gets really fucked up. Yeah, as Darling Darkness said, it's haunting because it is true crime. And like I said, as I said before, the only things that offend me is when it's true, because it's fucking terrifying. Compliance literally, like, tore me apart. I would be interested if you saw it and what you thought. If we had to, I know that you sat through Cannibal Holocaust this weekend, but oh my god. Yes. Wicked One is saying that Knock Knock is actually a remake. Yes, we did talk about this just before. If we've got any more suggestions, I'm thinking of I just thought of a funny one, only that it's not a real thing. Have you ever seen Repo, Genetic Opera?
Oh, forever ago.
Oh my god, it's so good. Paris Hilton in that, amazing. And I was thinking, like, two horror movies with Paris Hilton would really stir everyone up. Could go like House of Wax with her death scene that everyone loves.
Dude, I have vivid memories of seeing House of Wax in the theater during that death scene. Like, popcorn was flying, people were standing on their chairs and cheering. Like,
I love her. She's such a good sport though. Like, she was like, seriously, I need a pole through my face. People will love it, and everyone does.
I don't hate her in that movie. I really don't. Like, I think people just hate her as a person, and that's why they thought that she sucked.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I thought she was fun. Like,
yeah, I like that film. I thought that film was good.
Yeah, me too.
Zachary said Salo. Have you seen Salo? And the 120 Days.
No, but that's one that somebody else
it's not really
suggested somewhere else. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a horror movie. It's just like a molesting children type orgy situation that goes on. And it's much like Cannibal Holocaust, where it's like scenes just connecting to scenes, which is just for shock value.
Right, yeah.
I would say. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Oh, that's a good one. Darling Darkness said Martyrs / Inside. Obviously, Martyrs is one of my favorite horror movies. I'm sure it's probably one of yours as well. Right?
I love that one, and I loved Inside too. That one, just thinking about it freaks me out a little bit. But I have something with like pregnant ladies. I don't know. I get like super sensitive when like things happen to their stomachs and things. I don't know if you get that way. Like I just like freak out.
I'm always like I'm always thinking, like, why do they always have to be pregnant, you know? Like, sometimes they make a girl who's pregnant so that we actually care about the woman.
Yeah.
But it might be interesting that we have Inside. There's a couple of other pregnancy films, like Prevenge is one of my favorite ones. But I'm sure there's another one that's, I'm trying to think what it's called. Grace, I think it's called. Maybe Grace. Maybe we could do two pregnant women one. That would be an idea. I can't think of any themes that aren't like cannibalism. Like for me, I'm like raw, eat. You know,
what
like
other offensive themes are there? Let's sit on your grave.
Proxy?
Last house on the left. What?
Oh, we could definitely do that. I feel like it's been a while since I've visited those kind of films.
Yeah.
I'm just looking up Proxy. Do you know what that is? Oh, 2013.
Oh, it's a pregnancy movie. Somebody said Proxy.
Well, I haven't seen that. If you want to add that to the pregnancy list.
I just have a whole pregnancy series on here.
I think I stopped like watching the pregnancy films. Tom said, obviously, I need a snack.
They freak me out. It's like so sensitive. So many things can go wrong. I'm not mature enough to handle that sort of thing.
That's so funny. I love you. That's so funny. Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's fun. No.
Okay. Well, Dumplings. Oh, my God. That's a good film. Have you seen Dumplings?
No.
Do you know what it is?
No.
I think it's from Hong Kong. I could be wrong.
Ooh, okay.
It was part of Three Extremes, which was three different Eastern, like, you know, Asian horror films from different Asian countries, different directors. And it's she's eating dumplings to make herself look younger, but what is in the dumplings?
I see.
It's a good film. It's done in an amazing, interesting way. I like how everyone's trying to find pairings. This is great.
Yeah.
Ichi the Killer versus Audition.
Oh God, Ichi the Killer is so weird.
I haven't seen that in so long.
Zachary actually recommended it to me, and I was so mad at you for like a week, Zachary, for recommending me that. It's so weird.
Oh God. A good one is, I'm assuming you've seen Old Boy.
Oh yeah.
A good one's Old Boy, because that's Old Boy and a Suspirian film, which I know everyone's going to go nuts. Everyone was trying to convince me that that's the most offensive film ever, which I do not. Film? Yeah, sorry, a Serbian film. What am I saying? A Serbian film. I don't think that film's offensive. I actually think that it's like done in such a, like, the way it's edited and put together. But I think it would be well paired with Old Boy.
Okay. I think we can add that to the list. I've never seen a Serbian film, so if you don't find it offensive, we can watch it.
You might find it a little bit offensive. That's the... Okay. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard about the scene in that, though.
Maybe. I don't watch... You can tell I don't watch very many controversial horror movies. That's why I was so excited to do this. Now I can watch...
Everyone's like, it's disturbing. I've seen it, guys. I've seen it. I like that film. Everyone thinks it's probably the film that I get asked the most about, which is so funny. But yeah. Anyway, sorry. I'm just like going off so we can... Should we look at the poll now?
Yeah, let's see if anybody else...
Okay, let's look at the poll. I'm assuming everyone will know what the answer is because it's kind of overwhelming.
Yeah, it's a resounding answer for one movie.
You read it out.
So between Cannibal Holocaust and The Green Inferno, out of 61 votes, you all decided that Cannibal Holocaust was the most offensive by 82% compared to 18% of The Green Inferno. Which I agree. I wonder how many people voted for The Green Inferno because they thought it was like bad, though. That's why it was offensive.
Yeah, I think so as well. And it was funny before we promoted it on this stream. I don't know what the number was before, but it wasn't so high. So I wonder if we convinced some of you guys that it was offensive. Let us know what you guys liked about this stream, and so we can edit it and tailor it for next time.
Yeah. There definitely won't be any technical difficulties next time. I promise.
Well, next time it's going to be on mine, so maybe there will be. So don't say that.
I thought you were going to say so. There definitely won't be.
I need to figure this out.
Next time it'll be on Spooky Astronauts, and she's a pro and won't mess up anything. So don't worry about it.
Yeah. I'll figure out how to play the intro, maybe, if you're lucky. That's funny. As we've just said, we're going to do it back and forth, hopefully monthly. We're not going to have I don't want to just put a locked in date on yet, but we're aiming for the first weekend of each month, around the same time. So keep that open in your calendars if you can, and we might show up.
I did post all of our social links in the description box too, so make sure you're following all of them, one of us, both of us, because obviously we'll share like what movie we're going to talk about next, or movies or whatever, so you can watch it beforehand, when it's going to be, if we have to change the date or whatever, so that way you can be sure that you can be prepared to come and talk about offensive movies.
Yeah. Let me know, did you guys enjoy this? I want to know in the comments what your favorite part was, if you'd like us to touch on some other topics about comparing them both, or because it wasn't really going to be a huge comparison thing, but because of the subject matter, I guess it's turned into that, which I don't mind. It's kind of nice. Originally we were just going to do one film, so I'm glad we did two, because we went through that so fast.
Yeah, I know. It could have just been nerves though. We were both like anxious energy.
Yeah, but as well, we were very excited to like talk about it because although we shared our notes, we hadn't really like spoken about it, and I was really interested for your perspective. So it's like it's cool, and I think it's good that like we're from different countries, and I don't know, we probably just have different lifestyles and stuff. So it's interesting to see in that. I guess we're probably we're not as completely different as it would have been if having like a really good bite. Like we're not super one way or the other, so it would have been good maybe having completely different, like a hothead and like someone who's like
but that works well because we agree on some things and we don't on other things, and that's what makes it interesting. It would be boring if we had the same exact opinion on
exactly or if it was just us fighting the whole time. That might have been actually pretty
I know that. Like I think a lot of people would have tuned in for that.
We'll stage a fight next time. I'll do a walk off and stuff. It'll be great.
Oh my gosh.
Somehow there's become a joke where everyone's coming to sleep over my house. I don't know if you saw this before.
No.
But now they're like saying that everyone's sleeping on my floor, and I'm going to go into hiding shortly after this.
Why?
Thanks for hosting. Anything else before we wrap up?
No, I don't think so. If you guys think of any more suggestions, like Emma said, just like tweet at us, comment on something. Thank you for everybody in the chat right now saying that you like the show. Appreciate it. We'll definitely fine tune like a format and things. This was just the first episode, but thank you all for watching. People are saying they're going to cook someone on your barbecue.
I don't have a barbecue. I have an electric like stovetop that I can't even work half the time. So good luck with that.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining. Thank you, Emma, for putting up with my technical difficulties in the beginning.
Easy.
It was so much fun, and we'll get to you guys soon on what movie or movies we're going to talk about next. It seems like everybody likes the comparing, so we might have to make it a thing where we talk about two.
Yeah, I think it's probably easy to have a lot more. We have a lot more to talk about when we like are referring to another film with it as well.
Exactly. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, thank you all for coming so much. Again, thank you, Count Dracula, for the intro. If you guys didn't see the intro, I think we're going to post it on social medias because it's just fun. I love that. It was fun to put it together. I love the music. So if you missed that, we'll put the intro up. And give us both some love. And I guess we'll talk to you guys soon.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, I need to go online.